My name is Catherine. I was born in South Bend, Indiana. We moved around a lot when I was a little kid. We moved to Texas when I was 8. We moved to Oklahoma, and I basically finished my educational experiences there. My father was a Boy Scout executive, and he had different districts, and then when we moved to Oklahoma, he had the council of his own, and he completed his career there. My father thought travel was educational, so we took traveling vacations every summer. They were loving Christian people. They stayed together over 50 years. I have one sister. She's 4 years younger. I got blamed for everything. We shared a room all the time we were home, so we did get along. There were spats. There were disagreements. Even drew line down the center of the room. We got along fine as adults as we grew up. I babysat when I was in high school. When I was in college, I carried a newspaper route. I went to Oklahoma College for Women in Chickasha, Oklahoma, which is now a co-ed school. Well, I studied general educational curriculum, and then I studied art. I did all kinds of art. I like drawing, all kinds of things, but now I have digressed from painting canvases or pictures to put on the wall to decorative painting. I paint on anything that doesn't move. When I was finished with my education, I got a job in an office. I worked for a year in an office in Oklahoma that was an attorney's office, but he did tax returns during tax season, and so I learned to do that, and I enjoyed that. The next job I got was when my youngest child started school. We were out here in California, and I went to work for a CPA firm. Worked there for 15 years, and then I went to work for Yeager Construction, which was a pretty good-sized construction company in the area, for another 15 years, and then I retired. I had a shop for a while after I retired from work. I had a shop in Crestline, California that I kept open in the summer months. I sold my work and antique linens and things that I'd picked up. And I enjoyed it, but it got to be a little much for me. I was alone in that venture. When my husband passed away, I got rid of the property. I met him in Chickasha. I believe it was at the skating rink. There was quite a group of us, maybe 10 or 12 people that met every weekend, skated together. And then he went in the military because he had been in the military during the occupation, and when they started calling him back in for Korea, he didn't want to go back into the Army, so he enlisted in the Air Force. And he had been in the Air Force probably 6 months or so when we finally got married. He was senior master sergeant when we got out of the Air Force. He stayed for his 20 years. I kind of persuaded him to do that if he was going to re-enlist. I enjoyed traveling around. My husband was in food service. He wasn't flying. He had been a cook before he went into service, so that was a natural thing for him to do, and he enjoyed that. Went wherever they sent us. 51 years. I have 3 children. The youngest girl and the boy live here in Moreno Valley, and the oldest daughter lives up near Sacramento in Placerville. The oldest one is Betty. My son's name is Ronald, and the youngest one is Laurie. I like being a mom. That's why I didn't work when my kids were little. I enjoyed working too. I have 6 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. I see the ones that live here because we have a family night every Friday night. We didn't have much time to really travel, nor did we have much money to really travel. When I was growing up, we camped. My father being a professional Boy Scouter, we had a little umbrella tent and we camped all over. We lived for a short time in Florida. He was stationed down there, and that's where I went afterwards. He wasn't there very long, and then he got sent to Alaska for an unaccompanied 1-year tour. Went back and lived with my folks and worked that year. And then we went to Wichita, Kansas, and then we went to Minot, North Dakota. And then we did 3 years in Okinawa, where we went along with him. It was a good experience. I enjoyed it very much. My children don't remember too much. The older ones were 10 and 9, I guess, by the time we came back. But they went to school over there, and they learned a few things, learned how the culture works. And I helped in the schools while I was over there in the local schools, helping with English pronunciation. And that was fun because they say the Japanese language doesn't have the F sound. So I said, sure you do. You have Mount Fuji. No, Lisa, Mount Fuji. Another girl and I we were in the non-commissioned officers' wives club. We bought big cans of figs, and we took them out at the commissary, and we told them we were going to let them have these figs to chase, but they had to learn to say fig first. We've been here in Moreno Valley since it was Sunnymead. In 1965 we came, when the base was still open as a full-time base, and my husband did his last 4 years out here. I still have my car, and so I go when I want to go. I like the mountains. Lake Gregory was where my shop was and where our cabins were, and it's a very small lake, but you can walk all the way around it, and I love to walk in the woods. I don't walk in the woods anymore, but that's what I like to do. It's a very clean, well-run facility. It's a lovely place to live. Food is good. Cleaning services are great. They keep keep the place nice. The staff that I've met have been very, very nice. The moving staff, the people that keep the front desk open, are always available to ask questions, and they're very nice about it. And I don't have much experience with this type of thing, except that my mother lived in a senior facility in Houston. She was very happy there, so I wasn't afraid to come here when my kids decided I didn't need to live alone anymore. Comforting to know that there's people around if you need something. I raised my family and traveled the country and just lived. Enjoyed everything I did.